We're rolling into week 6 of the NFL season, and the injuries are starting to mount up. And we had a big one announced this morning as De'Von Achane is headed to the IR. He's going to be out some time. And now we got to look at the running back position and see what to do. But the Dolphins are getting Jeff Wilson back very soon on a quick turnaround from IR. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets inserted into the offense mid-season coming back from injured reserve. So we're going to look into him, the news, the facts, the data, the advanced metrics, the Miami Dolphins, and everything else to see whether or not you need him for fantasy football. But what you need to do is click that subscribe button right now. Click it with your mouse, tap it with the finger on your phone, whatever you need to do, because we're doing deep dives on these players every day. We're also covering the waiver wire extensively. We're also helping you set those lineups and everything else. Click that button. Stop missing out. Let's look into this. This is a big deal. De'Von Achane, whatever, is out. He's going to be missing for multiple weeks. He's on IR. We had that news alert us on the phone today. A lot of people have been commenting on random videos of mine talking about it. I've seen it. De'Von Achane is out for a bit, and now it's time to look at Jeff Wilson to see what he can do. The thing about De'Von Achane, though, he was very productive. In week 3 against the Broncos, 51 fantasy points. The week after against the Bills, 27. Last week, 21, because he has that elite speed. He's a hard guy to replace because you cannot replace that. That's not an everyday type of player. And I would have loved to see what this rookie season would have looked like without missing those slates of games. But we're looking at Jeff Wilson as he's being reinstated for practice. The team has a 21-day window. But from what I've seen on the internet, from what I've seen by reading the tea leaves, looks like there's going to be a quick turnaround. Should be back this week, if not very, very, very soon. Somebody comment below. Let us know if you heard anything. Remember, the Miami Dolphins made a trade for him last year, dealing a 4th-round pick from the San Francisco 49ers, where he previously played under Mike McDaniel. So McDaniel knows about Jeff Wilson. Plus, Jeff Wilson played with him last year after the trade on the back half of the season, and he was productive with both teams. Can get you double-digit fantasy points, can hold it down a little bit, can be productive. And this year's Dolphins is a lot different from last year's Dolphins. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. Also, when you look at his production with Miami last year, he was getting it done with over 4 yards per carry, 4.4. Also averaged 2.29 yards after contact per attempt. He also had 16 missed tackles, 119 yards against the Browns, some decent performances down the stretch, used in the passing game a little bit, so he was getting the job done. Looking at opportunities throughout last season, he can handle a heavy workload. He had some games where he had over 20, hovered around 15 to 19 opportunities a game last year. Some games a little bit more, some games a little bit less. But again, we had some down games as well. But again, the upside says he can handle a big workload. Targets as well, being used in the passing game. Not heavy, but still enough to get the job done, especially if this year's Dolphins team wants to move the football through the air with the running backs. They're going to do it. They're going to do whatever they want to move the pace. Jeff Wilson, 6 foot, 210 pounds, was not a highly sought-after prospect coming out of college. He's also almost 28 years old, so he's an older running back in the NFL. Looking at the athletic specs here, 4.62. I get it. Slow running back in terms of metrics, but it doesn't matter. He's proven he can compete at the NFL level. This Dolphins team runs it fast. There's going to be openings, and we really just need him to get touches in this offense. We've already seen him on the field. Going back to the combine doesn't really matter, but it also gives you a gauge of what you're working with if you don't know much about Jeff Wilson. Looking at the numbers here for the Dolphins, they run 63 plays a game in a neutral game script. Neutral game script takes away the big leads. It takes away those final 2 minutes at the end of every half. And that time, they're averaging 39 pass plays a game and 24 run plays per game. When the game script's hot, they move it fast. We don't need numbers to say that to us. We see this in the games. They move it fast. They move it downfield. They chuck it. They are a fast break team, and when they get up, they may slow it down a little bit. They may do that, and that impacts the numbers a little bit. But this is a fast break team. They score points in bunches. They are dangerous, and you want everybody involved in this offense. You want Raheem Mostert. You want Jeff Wilson. You want the ancillary jabronis. Anybody who's touching the ball, running routes, or whatever. De'Von Achane, 12.1 yards per carry. You see that down here? No one talks about that, but that's insane. 460 yards. That's gone. Now we got to see if Jeff Wilson can get a percentage of that. Raheem Mostert's been productive as well. We got some other jabronis down there. But again, we got some opportunity here that's opening up for Jeff Wilson to step on in. One of the best offenses in the league. Probably one of the fastest offenses we've ever seen at the NFL level, as well as they can stretch the field like no other. And he's going to benefit from that. Anybody seeing the ball in this offense at a consistent clip is going to benefit from that. From Raheem Mostert to De'Von Achane to Jeff Wilson. And that's just how it is. Looking at the schedule, I don't even think it matters because they push the pace so much that the schedule is dictated by them, because we're looking at fantasy production, not wins or losses, and they're going to push the pace enough that every game's going to be high scoring because the other team has to push it as well to keep up with them, and that's their game plan, that's their identity, and that's their MO. So really, the schedule is whatever the Dolphins want here, and we know they want to score points in bunches, and that's what they're going to try and do. I get it, every team wants to try and do that, but the Dolphins can do that. The Dolphins have the speed to do that. And the only way that changes is something happens to Tyreek Hill. They lose some of that speed. That could impact that. But looking to our left here, the games they've played in, all high-scoring affairs. A lot of points being scored by the Dolphins. A lot of opportunity for fantasy production. We're going to see this in damn near every game they're playing in. There'll probably be a couple rock-bottom games, as that's natural. However, this team's going to light it up on the scoreboard. That being said, you're going to need him. You're going to need him if you want a running back from this offense or a player from this offense that's getting touches. You have De'Von Achane. You picked him up off waivers. You stashed him. Now he's hurt. He's out for a few weeks. You need something to get you by. This might be it. I know he's probably going to get like 10 to 15 touches a game or opportunities a game. That could lead to fantasy production off and on over these next few weeks. Something you may want to look at. Hot waiver wire option. Even if you pick him up, you win him off the waiver wire, guess what? He's going to be an easy flip for you. I don't see why you wouldn't want him. I don't see why you wouldn't want him on your team unless you just don't have space. You do not have space for a guy like him. You're not interested because you've been cashing in on waivers all year long. You've been cashing in on the draft. You're good to go. You're not going to worry about this. However, most teams are going to be interested in Jeff Wilson in fantasy football because of how electric the Dolphins are, and he's in an offense that's going to propel his fantasy production if he's seeing opportunity. We know he's seen opportunity with this team before. He's seen opportunity with Mike McDaniel before. He's going to get his shot. He's going to get the shot to prove himself this year and really score some fantasy points for you. The question is how much, and if you can throw him in your lineups and trust him. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about it. Did you already pick him up last week or the week before as we were talking him up in some of these other waiver wire videos saying, hey, he's coming out. He's going to be back soon. Now it's a good time to strike. If not, you better get on that waiver wire. Let me know what you think. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Catch you on the next video.